wanted to make a game where moving fast feels actually good, not just fast for the sake of it. This devlog is about how I rebuilt the movement, combat, and flow to finally make that happen. This is a deep dive into the Super Kid game. Before this version, there was actually another Super Kid game. Same title, same characters, but built in Unity. At some point, I took a break, and when I came back, I realized something that sucked to admit. I couldn't complete it. There were cool ideas, some neat level moments, but the movement itself was static. This was supposed to be a game where you could speedrun through levels, dash, slash, and move like butter, and you could do it. It was a lot of fun, but because the movement was stiff and there weren't a lot of movement options, that meant I had to do so much more designing for the levels. And don't get me wrong, it was fun. You could play with friends, flow through levels, collect badges, defeat bosses, but because the movement had no real momentum, that meant the levels had to do a lot more caring that it otherwise wouldn't have to. That's when I realized if the movement isn't doing the work, the game will never scale. As I kept working on it, I also realized how I didn't want just a linear game with cool mechanics anymore. I didn't want a game where you just go level to level. I also wanted a more open world, a real story. At the moment, there was some weak ones set in place where characters just joke around, but I wanted characters that grow, suffer. They joke around, but they also have aspirations and feel like actual people. These characters go way back from stories I made in little comic books as a 7-year-old, and I always wanted those characters to come to life in some way. The more I worked on this version in Unity, the more I realized the movement, story, and aesthetic, I just couldn't build it. I didn't have the resources. So I put Super Kid to rest. For now, at least. After taking a break, I got re-inspired by Fancy Pants. The movement, running up walls, chaining jumps, it felt and looked amazing. Fancy Pants is all about how fun it feels to move, but it's not really about what happens when things fight back. That's what I didn't like about it. The lack of combat depth and real risk. Jumping on enemies was fun, but it never asked much from you. And sometimes it felt like you had to move at the game's pace, not your pace. No matter how good you got, the game never really let you break it open. I wanted a game where being good actually made you faster. I knew that meant scrapping everything, so I started over and go'd out with a new goal. Momentum-based movement. But this time, momentum wasn't just about speed, it was also going to affect combat, survival, everything. The core gameplay loop became simple. Flow through levels, explore, fight boss to push story forward. But I wanted more than just running through. I added a simple dash to start with that, with a cooldown so you couldn't spam it. But something funny happened. I accidentally introduced a bug where hitting enemies or objects recharged your dash. Instead of fixing it, I kept it. It gave you a reason to fight. Combat made you faster. That became a core idea. In Fancy Pants, enemies would slow you down. In this game, they're how you stay fast. At this point, I had a tutorial area with slopes and jumps, but moving between sections still felt boring. You weren't playing, you were traveling. I didn't want that. I wanted movement itself to be fun. So I doubled the top speed from 300 to 600, added way more slopes, ramps, routes to grind on, and branching paths. Decisions while you were moving, enemies and objects you could hit to regain dash. Instead of taking 3 seconds to feel fast and slamming into walls, you could recover speed, turn quickly, and keep going. Speed finally had a purpose. Next, I wanted to spice up combat. Combat was fun, but hits didn't really land. Even with particles, it kinda felt unclear whether or not your hit landed. I looked at what other games did, like Hollow Knight, having a slash particle to connect the hit, really sell that you got them. So I did just that. A little white crescent shape to show that your hit went through. I tried making the slash face the enemy's direction, but it didn't work. It didn't look so great, so I did the opposite.
random rotation, random direction. And it instantly felt more alive, showing exactly when and where a hit lands. Even then, the game was missing something. The movement didn't feel directionless anymore, the combat was alive, but it was pointless. Touching enemies didn't hurt you, only when they do their attack animation you would get hurt, but for that reason, there was nothing stopping you from just running past enemies and avoiding combat. So the question sparked in my brain, what if running away was the more dangerous option? The question reminded me, of all things, Katana Zero, and how you only have one heart. Even though you only have one life, you never shy away from combat because it keeps you alive and makes you feel safer than if you didn't attack. I wanted that feel. So I took that idea, attacks making you be able to flow through levels, and created Flow. Flow rewards movement and combat, making you faster, pushing you to engage instead of avoiding everything. It turned movement into a resource. Losing flow doesn't just feel bad, it makes the game harder.
I switched the amount of health you start with from 6 to 1, and you could get that health back when you had flow. You could be faster when you had flow. You could attack twice as quick. No cooldown with flow. Flow quite literally changed the flow of the game. One last big issue were the freeze frames. The freeze frames would happen when you attacked enemies and it made combat punchy, but when enemies overlapped, it ruined combo timing. Because of that, I made freeze frames only happen if other enemies aren't in your combo circle. That way, your rhythm gets kept intact, and you can combo without any problems. Right now, it's the day before Christmas Eve, and I'm planning on working on the first boss, and also, enjoying my break. The focus of the next video will probably be the boss, which will probably come out sometime in January if you guys show some support and like this. Thanks for watching, and if you're interested on the development of the Super Kid game, subscribe to the channel, follow the socials, and I'll see you all soon. Merry Christmas. See you.